generally, if one thing is true for one, well, individual, it might be true for multiple other people as well. You know, I think nowadays a lot of people are feeling kind of tired, restless, fatigued, kind of like a fog. Like, well, you just feel drained. Like, just want to nap all the time. Don't want to do very much. It's a lot going on. And I don't think we take that into account when we factor in a lot of things that people are going through. The mental component of this. You know, I said before, well, I departed for a temporary amount of time that I felt that this summer was going to be, well, sadly pretty violent and bloody. And well, as we have officially passed Labor Day, which is the unofficial mark of the end of the summer, we still haven't hit winter yet. But, well, we all can feel the temperature starting to change, starting to get a little bit cooler. It was a hot summer this summer, very hot indeed, weather-wise, and people's emotions. They were running on hot, and we saw some things that were, well, quite ridiculous. We're still dealing with very big problems, like coronavirus. And well, we added on the extra layer of, well, vaccinations this year that we didn't have availability to last year. So that would have made things a lot more simplistic and easy. But well, easy is something that did not occur or happen. There was a lot of hesitancy. And well, hesitancy is okay. But well, not necessarily the smartest, well, long-term decision to make when you're dealing with a global pandemic of a virus that can rapidly mutate and create variants. So while that was undercurrent, you hit the summer where people wanted to get out because they didn't explore last year. Everybody was cooped up and wanted to, well, find a nest, leave somewhere. Everybody. And that's what most people did. They left. They went and did something that was a distance away from where they reside. Well, now a lot of people are sadly, well, paying the price for doing that. You have to understand, before the summer kicks off, there's spring break. People have been traveling since spring break. That's why a lot of, well, cases are now being reported. Because those people who traveled during spring break went in contact with other people. And they might not have gotten sick for a while. Remember, this thing is on a delay. At least about 14-day delay. But now with all the variants, you might get sick the moment after you meet somebody. You never know. Because that's how potent the variants are getting. But anyway, well, they came into contact with a lot of people after spring break. And well, then you had the explosion of people traveling during the summer. That's what happened. People traveled during the summer. Well, now you have this. July 4th, big holiday. You think people didn't travel? They did, by the millions. And well, you think everybody who was unvaccinated was wearing a mask? Maybe on the transportation part because they were mandated to. But when they got around their friends, family, relatives, acquaintances, just random strangers, they weren't masked up. They were acting like they couldn't be asymptomatic. They were being irresponsible. And now that's why the numbers bear it out. Don't just listen to me. Listen to what the numbers say. Last year around Labor Day, there were like 33,000 patients, give or take, with COVID who were hospitalized. This year, with a vaccine, there's almost 98,000 patients that are currently hospitalized. Now, I don't know if you guys and gals can remember doing math, but that's growing at an exponential rate, the number of hospitalizations. So you know what's going to follow suit. The number of deaths. It's bound to happen. And it's already starting to show and happen again. But this time at a much faster rate. You see, the honest truth is we never slowed the spread. They never slowed the spread. Well, it came down from its peak. But coming down from its peak to a normal number was never something that, well, America chose to do. It seems like we unilaterally chose to do herd immunity without telling the citizenry that that's what we chose to do. Because we never chose to do the exact opposite of herd immunity, which is to lock down. You know, New Zealand locked down. Now, I don't want to get into this debate about lockdowns and businesses and all of those kind of things. Because, well, we did have programs like the Paycheck Protection Program. You know, that kind of thing did exist. It just wasn't delegated correctly when it initially rolled out. Because, well, you had an inept leader in charge. But I digress. You know, I think that there's like now just a lot of distrust, anger, rage almost. You know, I've noticed something, a distinction when I've returned. And this is something that I didn't notice prior to leaving. And I'm speaking here of my vicinity, my area. There's a lot of people now that have very short impulse controls. Like, they're reticent to do something very impulsively. No impulse control anymore. Have you noticed some things? If you agree, you can raise your hands. I won't see them. I'm just checking in. People tend to want to speed a lot nowadays. Even on side streets. Why are you speeding on a side street? There's a speed limit of 25 miles per hour. Can we do the speed limit? Thank you. That's my PSA. But yeah, just like a lot of malfunctions, retail stores, people screaming and hollering, people getting, well, wrestled to the ground, people being violently punched by the police. I mean, it seems like a repeat of 2020, but on a more severe and, well, escalating pace. You know, nobody knows what COVID is. And anybody that tells you they know what it is, they're lying to you. But I can tell you this with assurance. Things are not getting better. They're getting worse. You know, originally they told us 15 days to slow the spread of coronavirus. That was back in April something of 2020. It's been longer than 15 days. It's been a year, over a year now. March of 2021 was a year. So we're over a year and 6 months now. And well, we've got a vaccination, which, well, we're having a lot of breakthrough occurrences. And well, I'm not really surprised about that. But, well, there's a lot of things we don't know yet. And a lot of things we're still trying to figure out. And I tell you what, this whole shelter in place thing, it never worked. Americans don't know how to shelter in place. And it never will work. You'd have to restructure the whole economy. And there's no way you can do that here. There's no consensus you can find in America on just about anything. I mean, wearing a mask became, well, an argument when nobody else argues about those kinds of things. No, those are not the kind of things people choose to expend a lot of energy about. Well, what can you say? There's a certain fog and a fatigue, sense of tiredness, sense of dreariness, like a, well, type of giving up. You know, I always state that, well, it's best to wear a mask, because now I can't see how angry you are. But when you're not wearing your mask, I can see the sadness, the grief, the sorrow, the unhappiness, the anger, never or seldom happiness. Do you see people without masks looking happy anymore? No. Everybody looks like they lost their best friend in the world. And well, I don't know why that's the case. I think it's ungratefulness. It's not a reflection of, well, where we are. And in comparison to everybody else, it still has very much to nothing. You know, it's being ungrateful. And well, we shouldn't be ungrateful. Anyway, you know, we gotta get out of this fog, this fatigue, this tiredness. I'm trying to do my best, well, to get out of that position too. Because what affects you obviously affects me. But anyway, let's try to do something different. I don't know. You can give me a suggestion.